directors, with services provided by professional staff in many South Asian dialects, such as Punjabi, Hindi, Urdu, and Pashto. It's modeled after the very successful PCHS Ontario to deal with serious issues like mental health problems, addiction to alcohol and drugs, and family violence. They are problems not unique to the South Asian community, but
what is unique to our community is the culture and the language. This is to make sure that we fully understand the multi-generational family unit and the importance of family and some of the triggers that happen within the South Asian families and what caused those concerns and the social issues.
And they are issues that need to be dealt with if we are to have healthy families and a strong South Asian community. For example, we know that there is a serious problem with family violence in our population, and too often people are reluctant to reach out for help.
Domestic violence creates chaos within a family, and it creates an environment of non-safety. So when someone's not feeling safe in their family home, that can obviously lead to issues around mental health issues, but certainly it can lead to harm within families. It can lead to impacts onto the children and onto the stability of that family.
Every Saturday, a support and counseling group meets at the Genesis Center. It's aimed at men who need help dealing with issues like anger management and addictions. Families can attend to learn how they can better understand what is happening. Many here also meet privately with counselors.
The Sahara Men's Group is a 16-week psychoeducational program that is open to individuals and their family members to come into the group and to understand what addiction is in a culturally and linguistically appropriate manner.
This man, who asked that his identity be hidden, has not been able to see his children or spouse for months because of his behavior and related alcoholism. The counseling has helped him to become sober and is providing him with skills and strategies to eventually rejoin his family.
Yeah, मेरे घरे family problem सीगी, so उधे करके जो साडे मेरी wife ना मेरी लड़ाई हुई सीगी, तो उस time मैं drunk सीगा, so जो उधे बाद दे मैंने इस करके मैंने class लेना.
What's universal to most addicts, 99% of addicts, is that there's a history of abuse. The abuse can be sexual, physical, verbal, neglect, anything. And so kids of alcoholics get neglected or abused by their father who beats someone who's drunk. And they are now 3 times more likely to become alcoholics.
One thing that we know is that people are reluctant sometimes to seek help for this problem, and there's a number of reasons for that. Shame can sometimes play into it, so they feel shameful or embarrassed for what's happening within their own families. The other big issue is that they don't know where they can go for getting help that's meaningful for them. And so oftentimes, if there's language or cultural aspects to their social issues, they may not want to go to mainstream services because they don't feel like those services are set up for them, if they understand that their particular situation.
At PCHS, women who find themselves in abusive relationships can obtain private counseling services and support if they need to access the court system. They can get that help in their own language and in a culturally sensitive manner.
It's great because it's something because there are services available. Of course, there's so many services available, but because it's related, they're Punjabi as well, there's the cultural similarities that they can understand where you're coming from and why women do put up with what they put up with, and not just that, just judging them based on like, why don't you just get up and leave? But they also understand the cultural, like your family, the community, money, and just whatever travels from India here. They understand why the women might be putting up with what they're putting up with, and just offering those services to them in a more place that's close to home.
PCHS has realized that this culture, South Asian culture, is a very family knit, very large umbrella type of culture, so that the help doesn't just come to the person seeking it, it also comes to the family so that they can help support them. So that's what makes it unique, and that's what makes me hopeful that it'll be able to help these problems.
PCHS, they help me how to pass my situation, how I'm going to improve myself, and also how I'm going to help my husband, how I'm going to help my kids also too.
And one of the most insidious crimes imaginable is taking place in silence and secrecy in our community. So with support from Calgary Communities Against Sexual Abuse, PCHS is able to provide counseling services for people in the South Asian community who've been affected by sexual abuse.
We know that sexual violence hurts people. It hurts them emotionally, physically, spiritually. It hurts families, it hurts communities. But we also know that when it comes out of the silence and secrecy, people are able to heal from it.
It could be difficult for families dealing with serious mental health issues to find help, especially if you don't speak the language or you feel trapped by cultural norms. PCHS is breaking down those barriers.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਰਿਲੇਟਿਵਸ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਪਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਮੋਟੀਵੇਸ਼ਨ ਗਾਈਡੈਂਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹਰ ਵਕਤ ਇਹੀ ਫੀਲਿੰਗ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਕਿ ਦਿਮਾਗੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ ਧੱਬਾ ਹੈ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਇਲਾਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਰ ਉੱਚਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ ਸਕਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਤੇ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇਦਾਰ ਇੱਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪੁਸ਼ ਅਵੇ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ PCHS ਕੋਲ ਆਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਕ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਬਾਰੇ ਡਾਊਨ ਫੀਲਿੰਗ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਗਾਈਡੈਂਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੋਟੀਵੇਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਇਲਾਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਨਵੇਂ ਸਿਰੇ ਇੱਕ ਚੰਗੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਜੀ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਐਂਗਲ ਨੂੰ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ
Some people just need help sorting through the complexities of living in a new country.
ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਇਹ ਹਾਲਤ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਸਾਈਡ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀ ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਇਆ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਬਰਬਾਦ ਹੋਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਾਇਆ
Harbon was in a family crisis and didn't know where to turn. PCHS support workers helped him sort through the problems and end the crisis.
ਜੇ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੈਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਹੈਲਥ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕੀਤੀ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਹੈਲਥ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਲਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਾ ਲਿਆ
It is possible. We can have healthy, happy families. We have to talk about these issues, strengthen our families, and strengthen our relationships. And this can all be done with organizations like PCHS.
The reality is that PCHS is only going to go as far as we as a community let it go. We're very good at funding things. We're very good at when we identify that something is an issue in our community and it needs funding, it gets it. Hopefully now we've come to the point where we're mature as a community and recognize that the only way we're going to be able to deal with these types of problems is going to be able to fund them. And that funding is going to have to come from our own pockets.
It's the responsibility of everyone in the South Asian community to step up and support PCHS. And that support starts today. It starts now.
Together, we can create happy, healthy, and successful families.
Good evening and welcome to PCHS Calgary's 5th Annual General Meeting. Circumstances require that we hold this meeting on virtual platform, on Zoom. We would have liked to have seen you all in person, but unfortunately that's not possible right now. We will try to do this as seamlessly as possible. However, if there are any glitches, please bear with us and we should be able to hopefully conduct this quite well. My name is Ravi Nad, and I am one of the founding members of PCHS Calgary and Chair Emeritus. The last couple of days, a few people have asked me exactly what does that mean. That means that you have completed your tenure with the board of directors and have retired. However, the board of directors can ask you to come in for a temporary assignment. And if you make a lot of noise, they can ask you to leave. So I was invited back a couple of months ago, and lo and behold, I'm still here. They haven't asked me to leave, and I will be moderating and hosting the AGM for this evening. It is my privilege now to welcome MLA Irfan Sabir for Calgary McCall, a strong supporter of PCHS Calgary, Councillor Jyoti Gondak, Marty Klein, Baldev Mutta, and the team from PCHS Calgary, PCHS Ontario. Thank you for joining us all the way from Toronto. It's also my privilege to now introduce the board of directors for PCHS Calgary: Minu Ahluwalia, Kiran Dhaliwal, Rekha Jabal, Preet Sandhu, Sona Minhas, William Imbo, Mandeep Saran, JP Chahal, and Sherry Hebert-Keck. As you can see, we have a strong board moving forward. Now over to some housekeeping items. Feel free to grab a cup of coffee or tea from your kitchen, and don't be shy about using the washroom in your home. We will entertain questions at the end of the evening, and if you see at the bottom of your screen, there is a Q&A icon. Feel free to send us your questions or leave us a comment, and we will address them before the end of the evening. We do have a concise agenda, and we should be done by 7 o'clock. Our annual report for the AGM is available on our website. Please feel free to access it. It has more information on what transpired with PCHS in the last year. Our website is pchscalgary.com. In the past 6 years, there have been many hearts and hands that have shaped PCHS to be the agency that we are today. Many of you have served on our board of directors, others on our fund development committee, curated very successful galas. Others have been part of our peer support program and co-facilitated programs for us. Some of you have given us, donated furniture to us. Others have given us office space and also accounting services. As they say in Punjabi, "Ik tinke tinke to kansla banda hai." This is very true because PCHS Calgary is the sum of all of your contributions. Thank you for being a part of PCHS Calgary, and may you continue to walk on this journey with us. One of the most significant changes PCHS has made this year is to hire an executive director. Perhaps I should say this is the first time we've had the capacity to do so. I know firsthand how much work goes to managing an agency like PCHS Calgary. We are very pleased to have an ED finally taking over the management of the operations. Finally, we, as the board of directors, can now look at turning ourselves into a governance model. Nina joined PCHS Calgary in September of 2019 as an agency manager. She was promoted to the position of executive director in March of this year. She had only been in that position for about a week, 10 days, when we were joined by another uninvited guest, COVID-19. Nina was left with the task of working with our staff to adapt our programs to a virtual platform, and which was done within weeks. Our clients only had a lag time of about 1 week before they were connected to our programs again. Nina brings several years of experience in public and private sectors, and we are confident that she will chart new benchmarks and create new pathways for PCHS Calgary. And I'd like to introduce Nina Sani to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nina Sani, and I'm the new Executive Director for PCHS Calgary. I'm so thankful to be a part of such an amazing organization and be given an opportunity to be a part of the wonderful work that it does. The sincerity and commitment and drive to help Calgary's South Asian communities is as admirable as it is important. The 3 core areas of service delivery are mental health, addictions, and domestic violence, which is no easy feat to address. During COVID-19, resiliency of PCHS prevailed as the board and staff banded together to continue their quest to provide ongoing seamless counseling services to those in need. In order to adhere to the regulations surrounding COVID-19 and maintain the health and safety of our clients and staff, PCHS began their counseling services remotely over phone and video. In a short period of time, with some innovation and dedication, PCHS had all groups available online with great participation and wonderful feedback. PCHS will continue on its elemental areas over the next year and continue to provide quality programming surrounding mental health, addictions, and family enhancement. It will further develop its outreach and awareness, continue to grow the peer support program, and expand its reach to include and promote youth engagement. When I was first introduced to PCHS, the word courage is what came to mind. It has now become a descriptor and resonated with me. For people from our community to recognize and seek help, overcome taboos and stigmas, and better their lives takes a lot of courage. For staff to tackle difficult issues and commit to enhancing the lives of others takes a lot of courage. To stand up and have difficult and uncomfortable conversations within our community takes courage. So now I'd like to introduce you to our staff, the Lions and Lionesses of PCHS.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nico Scholten, and I hope that you are having a wonderful annual meeting. It would have been my pleasure to be able to attend the board meeting and certainly also the annual meeting in order to meet all of you. But as it is under these unusual circumstances, I'll just say that it is my pleasure and a privilege to be able to serve the South Asian Canadian community through helping the staff to be the best possible counselors that they can be. And as I get to know more and more about the clientele, as well as the capacity of the staff, I may even be able to more clearly direct them into certain connections and collaborations with community resources in order to enrich their own program development initiatives.
Hello everyone, my name is Tanya Buller and I'm the clinical lead at PCHS Calgary. Today I wanted to briefly talk about the Sahara opioid program that we developed in 2018. There was a growing need in our community for drug-related services tailored towards South Asian families, especially during the opioid crisis that had affected the entire country. In the last 2 years through this program, we have worked on raising awareness and education over substance abuse. We offer individual and family counseling. And in addition to that, we also have a group program that runs weekly for clients and their families, where we address addiction and related issues. We hope to continue to serve our community through this program. Thank you for your time today.
Hi, my name is Sajjad, and I'm a registered provisional psychologist. I've been working with PCHS Calgary since 2018 as a case manager. So presently, I'm the lead of addiction program, where I'm seeing my clients in one-on-one session, but on the other side, I'm also facilitating 3 groups, opioids, alcohol, and relapse prevention group. So this is my introduction. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Helen Bhatt and I'm one of the case managers at PCHS Calgary. And I'm also a registered provisional psychologist. I've been working with PCHS since 2017. And I do run the Sahara Men's Domestic Violence Group program, which is a 16-week psychoeducational program, which focuses on skills for healthy relationships. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, I'm Aman Chahal, a registered provisional psychologist and case manager with Punjabi Community Health Services. I've been with PCHS since 2018 as a practicum student as a part of my Masters of Counseling program and became a full-time employee a year and a half ago. Currently, I'm the lead for the Women's Domestic Violence program and the Mental Health and Wellness group.
Hi, my name is Sarabjit Sori. I'm working with the PCHS from November 2018. I'm working as an intake peer support coordinator. Peer support is a connection-based program providing emotional support through personal shared experiences. Trained peer support volunteers help participants build confidence, feel connected, and understood as they heal. My job to hire dedicated, committed, and passionate volunteers for PCHS Calgary. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Edward Qureshi. I joined PCHS Calgary in March 2020 as an outreach coordinator. My job responsibilities are to increase awareness in South Asian community in need of services as someone unaware of the PCHS Calgary and the important services it offers. In fact, community outreach has the main objective of increasing awareness of mental health, addiction, family conflict, and domestic violence. Also, my job responsibilities are creating partnership and identifying the evolving needs within the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Sajan. As you saw, we have amazing staff who are professional and compassionate. They are our best resource and strength. Thank you to all of our staff who go beyond the call of duty to provide optimum services to our clients. We stand tall because of you. In 2019, we served 513 families. Thank you to each and every one of you for reaching out. And as Nina said, it takes a lot of courage to speak up. But when you do and you succeed in your goals, we succeed. Although PCHS has made great inroads to connect with Apni community, we are still shackled by societal judgment and the veil of shame. It will take many years to break the societal norms that impede us. To this day, we're caught up with sabse bada rog kya kahenge log. Hopefully, with generations to come, we can shed all that baggage. Community service is a collaborative effort, and we are proud to have created many partnerships with mainstream agencies and as well with agencies and organizations that serve our community. We'd like to, at this time, say a special thank you to Baldev Muttaji and his team for their continuous guidance and assistance with our programs all the way from Toronto. I also want to thank our media partners for supporting our outreach efforts and taking our preventative message to our community. Many like Red FM, Sikh Virsa, and Loksat have been supporting from the beginning and are part of the solution. Now it is my privilege to introduce Honorable Rajan Sani, Minister of Community and Social Services. Rajan, a Punjabi Calgarian, born and brought up in Calgary, is an amazing role model for many women across all cultures. In a very short time, Rajan, as she likes to be called, has adapted herself to public service and seems to thrive in this role. She has a keen understanding of community and community needs, and we are grateful for her support to not only PCHS, but to the community as a whole. And Minister Sani is tied up at ledge duty this evening, so she could not be here, but she has sent a video of her remarks, and I will ask Sajan to play the video. Over to you, Sajan. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rajan Sani, Minister of Community and Social Services and the MLA for Calgary Northeast. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there tonight to join you with your virtual AGM, but session is back on and I'm in Edmonton and most likely going to be on the road quite a bit. So in any case, I know that I'll have the opportunity to join you again in future AGMs. At this point, however, I want to take a moment just to thank everybody at Punjabi Community Health Services for the culturally sensitive support that you provide across the spectrum of the social issues that we're seeing within our communities. We know that post-COVID, post-pandemic, that we are going to see a number of different issues arise, all the way from mental health issues to increases in domestic violence, and sadly, and something that really tugs at my heartstrings, increases in child abuse. So PCHS will have a leadership role to play to ensure that nobody is falling through the gaps and that we're really staying on top of all of these issues. Once again, thank you for all the great work that you do for your communities. I know that I wasn't able to attend tonight, but there will be so many more opportunities for us to connect. I look forward to working with you in the coming months and in the coming years to make our community safer, better, healthier, and more robust and resilient. Thanks again, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
I forgot to unmute myself. Anyways, thank you, Minister Sani, for those kind words. And I believe at PCHS, we're up to the challenge. We like to keep a pulse on the community and try and understand community needs so that we can respond to them in an appropriate manner. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the administrative staff of Community and Social Services that have been supporting and guiding us for several years. As a new agency, it's very difficult sometimes to navigate the maze of grants, program standards, evaluations. And I really want to thank Ken Dropko, Dion Kennedy, Lisa Mary Godreau, and Jane Scalzer for all their guidance in the past few years. And now I'd like to open the official segment of our meeting, and I invite Sona to table the first motion. Over to you, Sona.
Thank you, Ravi. Good evening. I, Sona Minhas, a board member of PCHS Calgary, move to accept the agenda for this annual general meeting as presented. This motion was seconded by Rekha Jabal. Due to the virtual format of the AGM, the motion was voted on beforehand and was approved. I invite Mandeep to table the next motion.
Good evening. I, Mandeep Saran, board member of PCHS Calgary, move to adopt the minutes from the last AGM held on June 25th, 2019. The motion is seconded by Preet Sandhu. Due to the virtual format of the AGM, the motion was voted on beforehand and was approved. I now invite JP to provide the financial report.
Thanks, Mandeep. Good evening, everybody. My name is JP Chahal, Treasurer and Chair of the Finance Committee for PCHS Calgary. The financial audit for 2019 was completed by a Calgary firm, BDO Canada LLP, without any concerns. I would like to thank Harman Gill, our former treasurer, and Rajinder Singh, the PCHS accountant, for facilitating a seamless audit. Truly a testament to how well they managed our records this year. PCHS receives its operating and program revenues from the Government of Alberta, local foundations, and community donations. And out of those donations, 94% of the revenues were directed towards service delivery and programs. And only 6% of that was allocated towards admin costs. And as a general rule, PCHS likes to remain under 10% for admin costs throughout the year. Our audited financials are available to the public, but if you guys have any questions, just let us know or get in touch with us. I would now like to move that we appoint BDO LLP Calgary as our auditor for this year, 2020. The motion was seconded by Sherry Hilbert-Keck, and due to the virtual format of the AGM, the motion was passed beforehand and approved. I would now like to invite William to table the next motion.
Hi, good evening. I, William Yimbo, board member and chair of the governance committee, make a motion to nominate the following as directors of PCHS Calgary for 1 year from July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. The continuing members are as follows. Minu Aluwalia for 1 year as past chair. Karen Dhaliwal in her first year of the second term. Rekha Jabal in her second year of the first term. Preet Sandhu in her second year for the first term. Mandeep Saran in his second year for the first term. Sonia Minhas in her first year for the first term. William Yimbo in his first year for first term. JP Chahal in his first year for the first term. And Sherry Hilbert-Keck in her first year for her first term. The motion is seconded by Karen Dhaliwal. Due to the virtual format of the AGM, the motion was voted on beforehand and was approved. I now invite Preet Sandhu to table the next motion.
Thank you, William. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. I, Preet Sandhu, Board Secretary, make a motion to approve the amendments to PCHS Calgary's bylaws. The motion was seconded by Minu Aluwalia. And again, due to the virtual format of the AGM, the amendments were voted on beforehand and approved. I'll now pass it back to Ravi to conclude the business portion of this year's AGM. Thank you.
Thank you, board members, for the motions. That concludes the business segment of the meeting. As financial stewards of public funds, we take immense responsibility to be ethical, transparent, and accountable to our funders, our donors, and to you, our community that we serve. I want to take this opportunity to thank the government of Alberta, the foundations that fund us, and our donors. A special mention and a special thank you to the Chahal Group of companies for their support in the last couple of years. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Meenu Ahluwalia, the outgoing chair and one of the founding members and the longest serving member on the PCHS board. In February of this year, Meenu requested to step down as chair, as she had accepted a position as a federal litigator, and I was able to step in to provide some respite. She continues to serve on the board of directors and will continue to serve for the next year as past chair. Meenu's commitment and legal expertise has guided PCHS into establishing a strong governance model. It is a good thing that she did all of this pro bono. Meenu has this uncanny knack of playing the devil's advocate, which at times was very annoying, I'll be honest with you. However, she made sure we looked at things from another perspective and that our decisions were grounded in due diligence. I invite Meenu Ahluwalia to say a few words.
Thank you, Ravi. I've been behind the scenes for a lot of my time here at PCHS Calgary, and the best part about that is sometimes you get to play the devil's advocate. Sometimes you need to play the devil's advocate. It gets everyone thinking and often gives rise to wonderful creative discussions and solutions. While I am at my best behind the scenes, in the last couple of years, I have taken on the role of president and chair of the board. And as I complete my time with Punjabi Community Health Services Calgary, it is my privilege to deliver these comments as I transition out to the role of past chair. The seed for establishing this agency was planted long before we actually registered. About 10 years ago, a group of us started having conversations with the late Manmeet Singh Bhullar about the need for social services for our community in our native languages and to work within the culture of multi-generational family units. We needed an effective approach to tackle family violence, addiction, and mental health issues that impact so many families negatively. Early on, the Punjabi Community Health Services model, which was created by Baldev Muttaji of PCHS Toronto, was tested here with a pilot project partnering with Calgary Communities Against Sexual Abuse to raise awareness and provide education around the issue of sexual abuse, particularly child sexual abuse. The less than lukewarm response from our community to that taboo issue did not deter the founding team of Danielle Aubrey, Ravi Nat, Baljit Kangura, Rupinder Tour, and myself from establishing PCHS Calgary. With the continued mentorship of Baldev Muttaji and his team at PCHS Toronto, here we are almost 7 years later. And as my nephews often say, teamwork makes the dream work. Like any organization, along the way, we have had growth challenges, but the biggest challenge we have is tackling the stigma surrounding mental health, family violence, and addiction. This is a challenge shared by so many communities and agencies doing this work. Now, in looking back at 2019, I confidently say we remained committed to tackling this stigma with continuing our partnerships and relationships with other agencies and government ministries, as well as building new relationships. We weathered funding challenges and received, amongst other grants, a City of Calgary mental health grant to support mental health outreach in our community. Our staff continued to work with Brenda Simpson and Ravi Nat to strengthen programs and service delivery and to increase case management capacity. As Ravi mentioned, we worked with over 500 clients in 2019. That's 20% more than the previous year. We held 2 successful community events, a community bazaar on International Women's Day last March to showcase female home-based businesses, and we had a Diwali fundraiser in November. The most important strategic planning milestone we reached as a board was to pave the way to hire an executive director, thus transitioning our board from being operational to governance. We also set in motion the advisory council that we had been talking about for a while. This council will harness the collective wisdom of skilled volunteers to support our staff and future boards. The ongoing need for financial stability required that we update our bylaws, to pursue all different types of funding, including casino funding. Our focus on the financial stability is at the heart of everything we do as a nonprofit and honors our founding board's commitment in establishing a strong voice of fiscal responsibility. 2019 also saw the rise of PCHS Foundation, an umbrella organization of all PCHS affiliates. In Canada, there are 4, Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, and Ottawa, I believe. Since 2013, I've watched PCHS Calgary grow from a vision to a reality, which has only been possible with our volunteers and staff. Our staff demonstrate incredible resilience in supporting our clients. This is heavy and difficult work to begin with, let alone during this current time of COVID-19. As the saying goes, these are unprecedented times, and our staff ensured there was little interruption to client care by pivoting to virtual appointments almost right away. The compassion and diligence with which our staff support clients demonstrates how hard they work every day to live our mission, promoting healthy families. The hardest workers, though, are our clients. It takes immense courage to seek help, to acknowledge that there are problems which you cannot solve within your own family or alone. Our clients are so important to dismantling the stigma surrounding social issues. The bravery of our clients should continue to fuel PCHS Calgary's commitment to strong governance, accountability, transparency, and sustainability. I am grateful to have been part of the optimism that PCHS Calgary brings to the South Asian community and to Calgary in general. The thing about volunteering and sitting on nonprofit boards is that you get to work alongside people whom you may not meet otherwise, and many of mine have become mentors. I've also had the privilege of building PCHS Calgary with people I have known my entire life, Ravi, who continues to be a mentor and, dare I say, one of my most supportive champions. Just like she's championed the need for PCHS Calgary ever since I can remember, and she's always been engaged with PCHS, even when not in a formal role. Thank you, Ravi, for stepping back to the board this spring so that I can focus on the next phase of my career. Being involved with PCHS Calgary really has been the highlight of my personal and professional development. So thank you to all of whom I have encountered on this journey. I will now pass it over to Rekha to take us to the next part of our program.
Thank you, Meenu. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rekha Jabal. I would like to start with a quote from Deanne Hillis, which holds true for each of the individuals we would like to acknowledge today. The heart of a volunteer is never measured in size, but by the depth of commitment to make a difference in the lives of others. Board service is one of the toughest volunteer roles, especially when you are starting from the ground up with an idea to help your community in an area that is not often spoken about: mental health, addictions, and family enhancement. Yet our founding members took those ideas and implemented an organization that is now in its 6th year and has helped countless individuals and families in our community. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the contributions, tenacity, dedication, and vision of our founding board members. The board would like to acknowledge the following founding members who have completed their tenureship with PCHS. Daniel Aubrey in the area of finance, Baljeet Kangura in the area of governance and IT, and Rupinder Tour in the area of program development. Thank you. We would also like to acknowledge some of our former board members, including Balwinder Marwaha, Namrata Ratan, and Jupinder Benz. Thank you for the countless hours you have volunteered, and though you have completed your terms, you still continue to put in time and energy to ensure the success of PCHS Calgary. The board would also like to acknowledge a former board member, Harman Gill, who has and continues to volunteer numerous hours on the Finance Committee, helping with audits, budgets, and reports, but mostly for cracking her whip to ensure that we stay within our budget. And thank you for training all of us, Harman, in layman's terms so that we can make sense of it all. You're tied to our hips now, and you're not getting away that easily. Finally, we would like to thank a very special volunteer who has been with PCHS Calgary since the very beginning. Nina Buller has helped not only in the Fund Development Committee, but has helped co-facilitate the Sahara Addictions Group for the past 3 years. Somehow, in between her successful careers, she never missed supporting our staff every Saturday mornings at the Genesis Center. Nina, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Ideas are easy, but implementation is hard. And without the help of these individuals, PCHS Calgary would not be where it is today. We thank you all. Now I'd like to turn it over to Karen to acknowledge another special member of PCHS.
Thank you, Rekha. Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Dollywall, and it's my pleasure tonight to acknowledge Brenda Simpson. Brenda started with PCHS in 2015, helping the organization with the evaluations of grants. She then went on to volunteer her time with the program development work, not only overseeing the programs, but also developing our domestic violence program. She has also played an integral role in helping with interviewing and the development of new staff. Brenda consistently goes above and beyond to help our organization. During our move last year, she came in for the entire day. She even enrolled her husband to give us a hand. Now, for anyone who's ever had the pleasure of coming into our office, they must remember those 30 or so fleece blankets. We had no idea where to put them in our new office space or even what to do with them. So Brenda patiently packed each one of them into her car and donated them to the Sudanese community. On her way back, she brought her love of gardening into the office by buying each of our caseworkers a beautiful plant. Her passion in the work that PCHS does, her guidance and mentorship to staff, and her work in program development has helped ensure the success of our organization. It has been said that one of the greatest gifts that you can give is your time. Thank you, Brenda, for all that you have done to ensure the success of our organization. We look forward to many more years of collaboration. I'll now pass it on to Tanya to say a few words.
Hi, Brenda. I just wanted to acknowledge you on behalf of all staff. Just wanted to say a few words. You have been such a constant for us throughout the life of PCHS. You have stood by our successes and all of our setbacks we've had in the past few years. In fact, you've played a huge part in getting us to some of our successes. You have been a tremendous support, not only for the board, but also for all staff members. You have stepped into so many different roles solely based on the need of the agency, even when some of them were proved to be challenging. At those times, we needed someone and you were there. We can't thank you enough for that. Thank you for your time, hard work, and dedication. It has been crucial to help sustain the work we do every day. We wouldn't be here without you today and your sincere love, passion for PCHS and for all of us. Thank you for always believing in us. I would now like to invite Sherry for the next portion of the evening.
Thanks, Tanya. And I would love to add my thanks and appreciation for Brenda as well before I start the Q&A section. So we want to be able to be responsive to the community, and so this opportunity is there is a Q&A box on Zoom, and we would love to answer your questions, and because we're part of your community as well. I will just go in order to with the questions that have been brought forward. Our first question is, what is PCH's vision for the future of its development, community programs and outcomes, and its sustainability? It's a big question. I'm going to ask Nina to start, and then Ravi, maybe you can add in a little bit as well. Nina?
Thank you, Sherry. Can you guys, I hope you can hear me. So in terms of our vision, I think that always remains the same. So that's to make sure that we are serving the South Asian community, that we're committed to providing amazing programming and counseling in the areas of mental health, family enhancement, and addictions. I do think that youth element is quintessential to our growth in terms of knowing and recognizing that they are the influencers of tomorrow. So I think that that component is something that we're going to work towards. Community programming, our one-on-one counseling is solid. Our group counseling is solid. We have 6 amazing groups. I do think we keep our workshop element really relevant. So it is based on keeping a beat on the community and kind of getting feedback from clients on, what areas of additional support, and having staff and our amazing counselors identify when they feel, that they're receiving similar requests and wanting to do a different initiative, a workshop. Sustainability, well, that's always a tough one. I'm going to give it to you real quick, Ravi, because as nonprofits are always dealing with the issue of can we survive? And that's super sad because we're trying to help people survive. So, in terms of funding, we're always looking for government funding, but we do always look at the community to hopefully help and support us to make sure that we continue the work that we do. So Ravi, if you have something else to add, maybe?
I think you summed it up pretty well, Nina. The only thing I can add is that we want to ensure that the vision in the future is that we continue to have a very strong and robust governance model that supports our operations. As Nina pointed out, one of the key things to creating a vision is to understand the pulse of your community needs, and to ensure that your programs also respond to those community needs. Sustainability also will depend on the continued support from the community. So community actually plays a very huge role. I've always said from the beginning that we are a community-based organization. So community not only accesses us for services, community actually needs to support us in those programs, and community needs to continue supporting us in terms of our finances as well. We will continue for financial sustainability through the grants and through the foundations that we do, but we also rely very heavily on our community to support us through the volunteer hours, the time and the commitment that they give us, and also the funding. So the vision in the future is to ensure that we strengthen the programs, the 3 core programs that we have, which is mental health, addictions, and domestic violence, and we continue to serving our community. Sherry?
Great, thank you, Ravi and Nina for answering that. The next question is extremely relevant to what's happening in our world these days. Nina, can you talk about how you're planning to relaunch PCHS to the community following COVID-19?
So one piece to that, I think it's important to recognize that we work really hard to make sure that we're providing ongoing seamless counseling support regardless of COVID-19 having kind of hit. So we work really hard with our clinical supervisor, Nico, and the staff work together to just make sure that we were providing ongoing support. So we are providing the one-on-one and the group counseling. In terms of relaunching in the community, of course, we want to make sure that we're continuing to provide workshops, but in form of webinar instead. Even our move back into the office, we're obviously following all of the government regulations on everything. Some of our fundraisers and some of our initiatives will be done virtually just based on capacity of people in the same area. But I really do pride ourselves on the fact that we have been providing that ongoing support regardless of COVID.
Yeah, that's some fantastic work that you've been doing so that people can continue to receive supports over the phone or online. So thank you. There is a great question on how can I become a board member? You have been with the board for so long. I'm wondering if you can take a minute to answer this question.
Sure. So to become a board member, it's usually a great idea to volunteer on one of the committees that PCHS has. There's finance, there's governance, fund development, and program development. So it's a good way for the board and the organization and the volunteer and the potential board member to get to know each other. Volunteer, we have a transparent process of board recruitment and nominations and elections. So get to know the organization, come and volunteer, and then if you feel you're ready to be part of the board, ask for your name to be put up, and then at the next AGM, elections happen, and that's how board members are chosen.
Thank you so much. As a new member of the board, it was that simple to join, and so thank you, Minu. There is a question on how can I help the community? Ravi, you had started talking about the community and how to get involved, and we're here to help you and how you can help us. So I wonder if you have just maybe an example or a little bit more information you could share.
Yes, certainly. Thank you, Sherry. Just to build on what Minu said, there's many ways of helping the community. You can actually, we have a peer support program, and I always encourage everyone to join that peer support program. There are many opportunities through the peer support program to understand the programming, to understand community needs, and to see where your niche is. Where do you feel that you can help? And to understand that niche, you have to understand the needs first. So I would recommend that to contact us. We have many different avenues of peer support workers that can come in. As a peer support worker means that you can actually give some of your time to do some volunteer work and work with our clients, work with our staff, work with our programs. And I believe that's perhaps the best way of serving your community.
Well, and I think I'll read out one of the comments that came in was congratulations to the PCHS Calgary team. Client testimonials gave me goosebumps. Keep up the great work. And so the benefit for you as you get involved and to volunteer at one of the groups or help out in many different ways, you'll feel such a sense of personal accomplishments. And I think you just pointed that out beautifully, Ravi, as well as that statement. So thank you for that comment in the Q&A. I realize that the time is short. I'm going to keep in 2 more questions. So if you don't have an opportunity to get your question answered, I am going to share the website, and you can email us at info@pchscalgary.com. I'll repeat it again throughout the next couple of questions, because we do want to have an opportunity to answer what are your thoughts, and we want to get to know you and hopefully support your family. The next question that's come up is, what kinds of social services and events do you guys have in the future? What's coming up, and how will COVID-19 affect these events? Nina, can you jump in and get us started and answer some of the things that we've been doing?
Sure. So just recently we had our Facebook Live virtual DJ event. It went really well, actually. So we are hoping to do something else similar to that, but with potentially live singers. So that's something that we can still do virtually, because we are being very cognizant of the fact that we can't have that many people together. We have launched our Calgary Helps page. So that's an ongoing giving website. We really promote a monthly giving on that. So that's something that we've also continued or continuing to do. Past that, in the near future, I think some online campaigns may come up. So just make sure you're connected to our social media so that we can get our information out there to you as well. But the FD committee is also working on a radiothon. So that's something we're hoping to do in maybe early fall. And that will be a really strong initiative and a great fundraiser for PCHS. Ravi, do you want to add something to that, or we're good?
You know, what I might do is, Ravi, do you have something to add, or I can go to a connecting question?
No, the only thing I was going to add is that our outreach has gone virtual, and we've been able to do a lot of outreach on social media. But if once we're following government guidelines, we're able to congregate, I think it's really important to connect with the community through some of the workshops that we had planned on mental health, on domestic violence and addictions. We recently gave away naloxone kits at the Dishmesh Cultural Center, and we hope to continue to do that at different events so that people have the opportunity to pick those up. And as well as Amber Qureshi, our outreach coordinator, should be out in the community, hopefully, like as I said, following government guidelines, to be able to connect with community members to provide some more prevention tips on the various social issues. And that's it, Sherry, thanks.
Nina had also mentioned we're doing some fundraising efforts, and there was a question in terms of, if we donate, can I get a tax receipt? Now, I've noticed on the chat, first off, that Kieran has put donations can be made online on our Canada Helps page. Kieran, do you have anything to add around the donations, tax receipts, that all those kind of questions?
Sure, thanks. Yes, any donations that are made through our Canada Helps website, you will receive a tax receipt immediately. So we're making it easy, folks. Click and donate.
And thank you, Sejan, for putting the email address of info@pchscalgary.com on our chat room, so that, again, it's right there. If you have any questions and we don't get to your question tonight, you have an opportunity to follow up, and we would love to hear from you. I would love to, though, put out one more question, and that has come up. What is Nina's favorite part of her job? And so that question obviously has to go to Nina. Nina, I turn the answer over to you.
Thanks, Sherry. I would have to say that without a doubt, my favorite part of my job is our staff. We have just an amazing group of people. They're so committed. They're so capable. They're so passionate. Sometimes too passionate. No, they're just the good level of passionate. But they make my job easier and fulfilling every day, because I know the work that they're doing when they're out there in the community, serving our clients, working as hard as they do. And sorry, guys, I know sometimes it's more than you want to do, but they always do it. So they really make my job easier and happier. And I look forward to watching them grow and how much they're helping our community. So they're definitely my sunshine at PCHS.
Love that. Thank you so much, Nina. And thank you, everyone, for contributing your questions and your interest in getting to know PCHS more. I will turn it over to Ravi, who will do the wrap up. Thanks, Ravi.
Thank you, Sherry. Nina, I'm a little disappointed. I thought you were going to say that all of those requests coming from the board members was the favorite part of your job, but I see it's not. Thank you very much for joining us all. I think you have the information, info at PCHS Calgary, should you need to reach us for any information. Our annual report is on our website. Please do access that. And as you can see, we have an amazing team moving forward for the rest of this year and next year to lead PCHS Calgary, and the wonderful staff that is our frontline staff that actually does the actual work out there. Thank you to them as well, and you will hopefully continue to do a great job in the future. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody, and a very good evening.